Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Periscope. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Southern California. My name is Francesca and I'm an interpreter here at the park. And today we have a fun program for you guys. We have some special guests that are going to be speaking with you about some career opportunities within the state parks. So I'm joined by some of our state park rangers and lifeguards, our state park peace officers. And today, hey, Colonel Allensworth, thanks for joining us. Hello, San Diego. Thank you everyone for signing in. We're here today to answer any questions you guys have about the application process and about how to become a permanent lifeguard or a permanent ranger. So we're giving people a few more minutes to sign on in. Thank you everyone for joining us here. We are at Crystal Cove State Park, which is in Southern California. It is a beautiful sunny day. We have about 3,000 acres of backcountry land just behind our lifeguards and rangers here. And also a marine protected area just out here beyond our coastline. So to go ahead and get started, we already have some good questions coming in about our hats and our uniforms. We're looking sharp out here today, but I want everyone to introduce themselves so everyone can get a chance to meet you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kennedy and I'm a State Park Peace Officer Lifeguard here at Crystal Cove.
Hello, my name is Scott Kibbe and I'm the Supervising Park Ranger at Crystal Cove.
Hi, I'm Kevin Selna. I'm a Lifeguard Supervisor at Crystal Cove State Park.
Awesome. So all of you guys have permanent positions here within the park, and right now California is hiring lifeguards and rangers up and down the coast at any of our 280 state parks you could be stationed at. But today at Crystal Cove, we're going to talk to you a little bit about why this job is so awesome and how you can apply. So does anyone have any questions out there about becoming a ranger? What should I do to train? So maybe we should talk a little bit about the qualifications and what goes into training. Do you want to take that one, Kevin?
Sure. Yeah, there's a physical agility requirement in the application process, and there are several physical tests that you must pass in order to keep going on in the process of becoming a park ranger cadet. And there's one that we all think of right away as the step test, and that's something that you can learn more about online on our parks.ca.gov/cadet website.
Perfect. We had a question come in. Do they have to pass a drug test? What kind of background checks do they go through?
So there are drug testing requirements. There's a full medical evaluation, and I can go through more of the process, but just to get back to the physical agility requirements, it goes through it really thoroughly and comprehensively on the website. But the step test involves doing like several hundred or more steps in a certain time period up onto a 10-inch block.
Oh wow.
And
so we need people to be in good shape to go through the academy.
It simulates marching through a marshy swampland.
Interesting. We had another question come in. Someone was saying they have experience in fire technology and if that degree would help prepare them for this job. What do you think, Scott?
It absolutely would help you. We work with fire suppression. We work a lot with our local fire departments. We do some trainings, and that absolutely would assist you in the process.
Definitely. We work closely with all the departments, especially here in Southern California. We work closely with our neighbors down in Laguna Beach. To the north of us is Newport Beach, so I'll show you guys around real quick too. We're up here at one of the lookout spots within the park. Up in that direction is where you'll find Newport Coast and Newport Beach, directly north. To the east of here is Irvine and the rest of Orange County. We're also being patrolled here by one of our lifeguards on the quad in our ATV. They have the fun job of getting to go back into the backcountry here. So you can kind of see one of our trails. This is No Dogs Trail heading back up into the canyon. And their job is to patrol, make sure they keep everyone nice and safe, respond to any medical emergencies, minor or major back here. And basically, they're just the first responders. They love the patrol vehicle. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. Any other questions about
all-terrain vehicles? And
yeah, the big tires. Takes us from the sand up into the off trail.
Exactly, and it allows us to do multiple parts of our job. We can use it to make sure everyone's safe in the water, in the ocean. ocean. We can also use it to do law enforcement. So we'll do beach patrols, and our beach is so narrow that at times this is the only vehicle that can get near the people enough to do law enforcement. So
exactly. Hey, Sun Gold Halo, thanks for joining us today and spreading the word. We're trying to share with everyone some of the amazing career opportunities that are available within state parks. Specifically right now we have an open period, a hiring period for permanent lifeguards and rangers. So we're at Crystal Cove State Park answering your questions about the park and about anything you're interested in learning about to become a permanent.
Right. So the application period is only open between now and May 31st. It's been open since April 1st, but we're making a real strong push here at the end to try to get people to just fill out that application. It's a real simple process. Get your foot in the door and then see where it takes you. You know, this could be your office here, as we like to say.
Hashtag this could be your office every day, definitely. So I'll show you guys the sign real quick, which has the website that you can visit to learn more about the process to get your application in, to download all the forms you need, make sure you qualify. A question about the time that permanent lifeguards work. Are they 12-month-long employees? Do you want to take that one, Sarah? Is it year-round?
Yes, this is a year-round position. We're state park peace officers and lifeguards. So a lot of us were medical trained, as well as we're peace officers. We run the lifeguard department here in our parks.
We're busy year-round, right?
Busy year-round.
Not making rescues.
Yeah.
You're in the backcountry. Real fun job.
A lot of backcountry space, and we get a lot of rescues and medicals in the backcountry as well as the beach.
Very cool.
Can I just piggyback on that answer? Is just, you know, we're one of the few lifeguard agencies where you can work as a year-round permanent lifeguard. You know, you don't have to take your winters off anymore. You can come play with us all year round. We do workouts, paid workouts to stay in shape. We do our requalification swim every year, and the neat thing is you could come from an outside agency, you could be in a different department and come work for us full-time year-round, as long as you have 6 months of open water lifeguarding experience, whether that be at a lake, a reservoir, or the ocean, and you're qualified.
Good point. Yeah, so we're looking for a diverse group of people to be applying out here. So if you think you have what it takes, we would love to see your application and to give it a shot through our academy out here.
Yeah.
Very cool. Does anyone have any other questions about the park or about what these guys are doing out here every day? Happy birthday, Rin81. Thanks for joining us. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So do we accept applications every single year? If they're not 21, is 21 the minimum requirement, or what's our age limit?
18 years of age is the minimum requirement to be a peace officer in California. We have been accepting applications every year. However, there's been times throughout my career where we have long periods where we don't accept the application. There's hiring freezes or whatever. But I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, we've accepted applications every year around the springtime. So between April, May, somewhere around there, we've been accepting applications.
Good to know. We just had someone say they would apply, but they're in Sweden. So yeah, it is only for our California residents for now. But if you're visiting from Sweden, you can come check out the park.
You could be from anywhere as long as you have permission to work in the United States. You have a California driver's license by the time you're appointed. So that means by the time you go through what's roughly an 18-month application process, as long as you have your California driver's license by that point, you're welcome to continue in the process.
Good to know. Very cool.
Yeah.
And we had someone else ask earlier a good question about what is your favorite part of this job? So Scott, what would you say your favorite thing about showing up to work is each day?
I would say interacting with the public. It's just so much fun just to patrol in the open space and drive on the trails and answer people's questions about wildlife and all of our conservation efforts and everything that we're doing here locally in the park.
Very cool. And what about you, Sarah? What's your favorite part?
I love being outside, and every day is different. We're here to protect the environment. We're here to protect our beautiful parks here in California, and I work with great people that I consider my family, and it's just a great experience to be able to save lives every day.
Definitely. And Kevin, what's your favorite part?
I think look at this place. can you imagine having this be where you show up to work every day? It's like a dream come true for us. Like they were saying, you get to be around your friends every day. We're fortunate to work with people we really enjoy working with, and we get to mentor other employees. So once you're in the peace officer role, you're automatically a lead person, and you're able to mentor and guide other people and bring them up through their career process, which is really gratifying.
Good. We had someone ask, is he a real sheriff? So right now we're joined by state park peace officers. So kind of a ranger version of a sheriff, but they go through the same type of training as police officers and sheriffs do. So they're equipped to make rescues and help protect the park from the people and the people from the park.
We've all attended a basic peace officer academy. So that means we have the same exact training as all the municipal police officers, county sheriffs, and other state peace officers. And so it's standardized. It's called Peace Officer Standards and Training. It's what we refer to as POST, and we go through a POST academy, and they're very strict about making sure that it's uniform throughout the state, throughout all the academies. And so everyone from LAPD, San Diego PD, Oakland PD, and us, we all get the same training. It's cool in that regard that we have that training, and our training actually has taken place at Butte College in Northern California recently. And they do a peace officer academy there, and then we have additional training for park operations where you learn about interacting with park visitors and doing what we call interpretive presentations, kind of like this one.
Very cool.
Learn how to speak to the public and schools and things like that. Campfire programs is something that people are familiar with, so we're constantly honing our skills in that regard, as you know. And we do law enforcement and backcountry rescue, ocean rescue. So we have a lot of things on our plate, a lot of different challenges to do throughout the day. You're really always doing something new, and so we're always constantly learning and
very cool. Yeah, that's
really
what's
neat.
so great about having this be your office view, and you never know what's going to be out here each day.
Right.
Someone did ask about animals that we might find out here in the park. And Scott, what type of animals do you think you might find if you go for a hike?
We've had a lot of wildlife sightings recently. We've had a lot of our western rattlesnakes. We've had king snakes. We've had red diamond rattlesnakes. Then from some of, we've had bobcats, roadrunners. There's deer in the area. So we just have so much wildlife here locally at Crystal Cove State Park. And that's not even taking into consideration our marine life. We have marine mammals, sea lions, dolphins, and
yeah, someone asked about spiders. We do. This time of year we're seeing the tarantulas come out of their burrows. I don't see any up here right now. I have been keeping an eye out for snakes. But we tell people to make sure you look where you're walking. The tarantulas are starting to crawl out, usually more at night though. And a question about reptiles. Yeah, we have scorpions. Pretty diverse animals in this area.
Right here in Orange County, you got scorpions. It's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Toxic coyotes.
Hawks, yep, we have a lot of birds of prey. So these telephone poles back here, there's a nest on one of them from red-shouldered hawks we have in the area. An osprey down here along the beach eating the fish. Someone was asking what are the requirements again for the job. So maybe just a real quick breakdown of the requirements.
Just real quick, there's two different positions we're advertising for here. There's the lifeguard cadet and the ranger cadet. Both require pretty much the same thing as far as school or education. Requires 60 semester units with a general education component to it that you must satisfy. Something that would satisfy the education requirement would be an AA degree or a bachelor's degree. As far as the difference between the two, lifeguards require an additional 6 months of experience in open water lifeguarding. So performing the duties of an open water lifeguard, whether that be in a lake or the ocean or a reservoir, just as long as it's not in a swimming pool.
Very cool. We had a question about velociraptors. Sarah, have you seen any velociraptors out here?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Those are not on our list that we're worried about out here.
If we did, we probably wouldn't say anything about it.
You'd have to come visit to find out. Go on a night hike to find some velociraptors. Very cool. We're gonna get ready to wrap things up here, but I want to give everyone a last opportunity to ask us any questions about the park or about our officers' jobs here. They said militarized park rangers in shorts. Could look at it that way. They are trained peace officers, so we don't really use the term militarized here in parks.
Yeah, if you think we look militarized, you should see us with our vests on. This is without the vest.
And underneath here, you guys have your reds on, right? Ready to respond to.
Let me show you that. Got my reds on here.
He's ready to jump in.
Ready to make a rescue. In fact, this morning we had an interesting thing happen where we had a jet skier or a person riding a personal watercraft beach, right? You know, just come right up on the beach. They thought that was a good idea, right in the middle of a state marine conservation area. So we went down there. We had a little law enforcement component to that contact, and then we had a rescue component. And both Sarah and I got to be involved in that, which was pretty neat. And it kind of is just a little example of the kind of thing we get to deal with here.
Very cool. And someone asked about stress on the job. Would you say it's a stressful job, or?
I would say so. Yeah, there's definitely are situations where where you need to get used to working in high stress environments, traffic stops on the highway, dealing with violent people with criminal histories. So there is a component to stress with the level of training that we get and our field training process. You definitely learn how to deal with all the different situations.
Very cool.
And I'll just say the peer support in this department is phenomenal. So like if I have a bad contact or a park visitor isn't happy with me for whatever reason, I can go back to the office and talk with one of my partners about it and just debrief and just really just de-stress a little bit. We also have built in with our job, we have the ability to go seek counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the state definitely is taking care of our workers. It's a great employer.
Great benefits here, medical, dental. We have a pretty good salary going on for cadets. It starts out at $3,400 and $34.06. I didn't know how to say that. $3,406.
There we go.
And that doesn't include all the incentives. So there's incentive pay, which in total could be up to around $1,000 extra. So once you're in the field, you're making a pretty good salary. As a cadet, we're paying for your room and board too. So that's something to think about. You're not gonna have to move to California and pay for room and board. You're given that money as a per diem.
It's a perk, definitely.
We also get great vacation. Yeah, I believe we are allowed up to 4 weeks of vacation per year.
That's good.
So yeah, it's nice.
It depends on how long you've been working here, but we get paid holidays. You have to work holidays sometimes, but you get to take those holidays another time. It's like a floating holiday where you can take it another time of the year. We just have our leave banks that can get pretty robust at times, so we're able to take time off when, like, say you're having a family or something like that and you wanted to take time off. That's kind of the lifestyle that you're buying into when you apply for this type of job. It's all about the lifestyle, about taking time off, having friends that you like working with, and coming to a beautiful office like this.
Very cool. And one last question, someone was asking, which park do you get assigned to? So we're at Crystal Cove State Park in Southern California, and this is just one of 280 California state parks. So how does that process work? How do you get assigned a park, or what's the process there?
Yeah, so when you go through with your cadet class, you'll be ranked, and then everyone will select their most desirable parks down to their least desirable parks, and you'll have the opportunity to work anywhere in the state of California where there's a vacancy. So you might not necessarily get your first pick, but you will be working at a state park somewhere in California, and
you can transfer
absolutely, yeah,
eventually into your career.
Correct.
Right.
Very cool.
Correct.
And lifeguards can become rangers, rangers can become lifeguards. So it's not like you're stuck in one color or the other or one park. You can definitely move around. The other thing is, I wanted to add on that, is that we do have veterans preference points for the examination process. So if you're a veteran and you pass the exam, you're automatically put into rank 1.
Very cool.
If you're a veteran, hey, it's a great opportunity to pick your area.
So someone's asking again what differentiates the lifeguard from the ranger. So Kevin here is a permanent lifeguard in blue.
We have just a different patch on our shoulder.
Whereas Scott is in our green and tan, and he is a ranger. And someone asked, how can I tell they're police officers? They have their badge right on them, so they're able to respond to any type of emergencies or calls just like a police officer would. Very cool. So we're gonna get ready to wrap things up here. We'll take a couple more questions. Someone asked, what are the shifts like? So that's a good question.
It's a really good question. I would say the shifts could be starting in the early morning. For example, this morning I started at 05:30 So you could be up early in the morning. We do have night shift as well, so that's working until midnight or later, depending on which park unit you work at. You could work overnight. There's special assignments that could be overnight. I would say generally we get the most visitation during the hours of like daylight. So you could expect in general that would be the most heavily staffed time. So if you're looking for like a daytime shift, we do work weekends and holidays. So there are some things to get used to with shift work, but it's great overall.
And it's usually 4 days on.
Yeah, 4 10-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, because then you have your 3 days off a week to spend with your family or to travel, and it's a very great opportunity.
Very cool. Yeah, can't get much better than this, folks. So I'll take one last look around here at Crystal Cove State Park. We have our sign advertising what we're out here to do today, telling everyone we're hiring park rangers, and wait for it, permanent lifeguards. And whether you're interested in lifeguarding or being a ranger, you're gonna go to this same website. So that's parks.ca.gov/cadet. And you'll fill out an application on there, and you can the contact information is also on there if you have any more questions that we weren't able to address today. And I'll finish giving us our nice 360 look out towards the Pacific Ocean, Catalina Island in the distance. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Slow Coast. Take a look back around. Very cool. So we'll finish things off with a little selfie. So let me turn it around and thank you to everyone for joining us. Again, my name is Francesca and I'm an interpreter here in the park. So we're excited that you joined us, and we're excited that you're interested in becoming a state park peace officer.
Come join us at State Parks.
Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a safe Memorial Day.
Apply
Bye-bye.
now.
Wait for it.